Hey, how's it going? My name's Braden, and this is my tiny home in Austin, Texas. Welcome to my tiny home kitchen. It's got a lot of sort of cool functionality in it. As someone who kind of enjoys cooking, I like this little galley setup so that you can sort of move pretty quickly back and forth between the sink, this interesting sort of microwave convection oven setup is a little different for me, but I'm trying to figure out how to bake inside of a microwave, which is quite cool. It's got a nice little flat top. We've got some front drawers. It's got more space than I honestly need for one person to live in, so that's sort of a cool fact about this. I've got my small little open pantry space right here. One thing that's nice about this little tiny home is that we have this tiny dishwasher that takes big dishes, which is kind of cool. So that I have not had a dishwasher in a few years, so this is quite the luxury. I really do like this sort of stainless sink. It's got this big basin in it that makes you sort of feel like you're in a big home, which is interesting. And then of course, you know, I gotta have my hippie water, so that's sort of what we're doing by filtering all the bad stuff out. One thing that's great about this little kitchen is in the morning I get to make this fun little magic matcha tea. This is a fun little drink that I start pretty much every day off with. I really enjoy sort of the idea of what the tiny homes are sort of taking away from the landscape, and that's sort of something that I've always thought was unfortunate with the sort of proliferation of like massive homes built in beautiful areas. Like we're sort of like, I feel like a visual species, and then when I look out over sort of Lake Travis and you just see these massive homes, wouldn't it be a lot more interesting if we saw little homes and big trees and sort of what makes the universe beautiful, what makes the planet Earth beautiful, locally, what makes Austin beautiful? I just like the idea of sort of hopefully this adaptation of like utilizing space. And obviously tiny is how you would do that. This neighborhood I live in is a decent representation of sort of how a small space can accommodate sort of a fairly large group of humans and doesn't really cause a whole lot of blight on sort of, you know, how we drive past it, or you know, what's needed in terms of impervious coverage, you know, concrete poured. You know, all those things are really unfortunate when you look at large-scale projects of, you know, residential development. So this is the laundry area. It's right past the kitchen on the way to my room. I do like this sort of shotgun hallway. It's pretty well organized. We've got a nice little cabinet. These stackables are actually pretty nice. I was surprised sort of with the size that they fit in. And then I like this little hamper space, and I've got this nice little sort of, I don't know, locker area that I can sort of store stuff that I need to pull out versus going into the closet around the corner. And, you know, makes life easy. So working to the front of the house from the laundry area, this is basically my main living space. You know, it fits pretty well. It's quite interesting to sort of furnish a space like this. So like finding this little couch that made it comfortable, you know, that was kind of fun to do. I actually took that cabinet door off to sort of open that space up for some of my, you know, art pieces that I've collected sort of over the years that my mother's sort of helped me accumulate, which I really appreciate. And then I took those off to give sort of, I don't know, a little more openness to the room. I think that one of the probably great benefits of actually moving into the tiny home is that it sort of gives you this perspective on how to purge stuff out of your life. And so I was able to sort of get rid of quite a few things, and then, you know, I had some creative people that sort of helped me sort of identify items that they thought would work. I mean, I was given this table by a family friend. It's got a leaf that pulls out, so it can go to a full-size dining table. I sit at this quite a bit. I got this at a vintage shop, and I love this chair. I love the color of it, and I think it goes well with this table. So, one thing that is nice that they were able to sort of fit into my tiny home is this actually pretty big closet. Some storage in there. I usually can fit my bike. I was really happy with the size of this. It really sort of gives you a lot to work with. If you're probably one of those people who accumulates a lot, you've got this to sort of start storing in. So. You know, from an adjustment sort of, or lifestyle adjustment from what I was living before in East Austin, which was still a fairly small home. You know, I think that home was like around 1,000 square feet, but I sort of reduced that footprint almost a third at this point. I don't know, I wouldn't say it was a struggle in any way. I mean, I had plenty of time to sort of mentally prepare and sort of get my head around how I wanted to sort of design it and bring in sort of these pieces that of furniture that make sense for me. You know, another great thing about a tiny home is you don't need a lot of stuff to properly decorate it. I mean, the hardest part about maybe living in a 6,000 square foot home is like you got to buy a lot of crap to fill it up, and I don't have a lot of that, so this has kind of worked. You know, my little large collection of things that I find neat and drive me personally and make me smile when I walk in are all displayed like sort of in front of you, and that's nice. I can at any moment look and see something that makes me feel good, you know? Oh, so welcome to the bathroom. It's extremely small, which works for me because I've always thought that bathrooms that are giant waste of space in a home. You know, like I feel like this experience should be an in and out moment and not necessarily like a leisure. So I like it. You can hop from the toilet to the sink to the shower all in one step. This reminds me of sort of how to get my day started and how to get things going. You know, comb the hair, keep the mustache right. And it's easy to clean, you know. That's the benefit of probably living in a tiny home for me is like that, like, oh, I gotta clean. Like, oh man, it's like 400 square feet. And like, you can do it. I guess the compromise would be if I had a partner living here, it would be a little tough to share a small bathroom with you know, a female friend would probably not be a conducive environment depending on their sort of grooming habits. So this is my master bedroom. It's a fairly sort of smallish room. This is a full-size bed, which was an adjustment for me to make from even like a queen-size bed. But it kind of works for 1 or 1.5 people, if that happens. I think it's a really well designed and gives some good functionality, or these pull-out drawers. I really like them. You know, I didn't have to bring in anything. We've got these sort of dual closets. They're exactly the same. Just kind of like a small standard closet. Once again, I'm not sure how conducive it is for 2 people, but for 1, it seems pretty right. Another space that I like is sort of where this skylight was built in. Since my house, this skylight faces to sort of the northeast, I get good morning light, which I really enjoy. I have hopes of sort of being mature enough that I can put plants up here and keep them watered, and that would be sort of my dream aesthetic, but you know, or I could rent it out. I think that's like a cool spot for a guest. You know, Austin's expensive these days, and it could be like a micro Airbnb experience. So this is sort of my outdoor patio space. It's one of actually the reasons that I sort of liked this location, really because I don't have much in front of me, so I've got a pretty nice unobstructed view. I've got a nice little green space that maybe we'll get a shot of when he turns around. It's fairly functional at this point. It's funny, I actually purchased this couch for the inside, and it was so nearly cursed, not great, that it's now become like college outdoor couch, and it works pretty well. And now with sort of summer going, I've got a great sunset that happens over there. and it's fun to come out here and sit in the evening and just kind of hang out. I guess a last little shout out would be to Magic Matcha. This is a fun company that was started by Leanne Greenberg that I've sort of helped come to fruition, and I've been a part of the team. It's really fun drinks that we're making off of South Congress at a really cool sort of food trailer retail park called the Lawn ATX. If you're ever in Austin, please come and check it out. We always have cool events. If you're looking for that Austin vibe, we're definitely sort of holding it down in that space on an ever-changing street that South Congress is. You can check us out on Instagram at Magic Matcha, or please check out the Lawn ATX also if you're looking for really cool local businesses started by really powerful women who are just trying to create that space. I mean, you know, the world's difficult to launch a business, so I'm really proud that I was able to help Leanne bring this to sort of this first phase and also be a part of the Lawn ATX. I'm glad that I was able to have tiny home tours come through my place. I hope you guys enjoyed sort of the ramble of a tiny home tour. Yeah. That's all, folks. Is that cool? No, just kidding.
You can do that.
No.
Yeah.